Right then, we're a bit late, but we are doing a triple header. And look, did you see that over the wall? Let's get a better camera angle on that. Now, there myself and Seb started from the pit, and you can see that's quite a wise decision. Remember, people, this is a 3.1 strength of field, and that was the start of the race. I don't know how many cars were involved. I'm guessing a lot, because some people still come around there with no front wings or anything. So, yeah, I'm glad I didn't start on the grid, because me and Seb were just ahead of that, but we thought carnage would happen. Anyway, carnage did, didn't it? Let's be honest. So we're still on lap 1 here, having a look up the inside of this Lotus, and we go around, and he does hold the outside very, very well, and we don't run wide because we don't want any issues at the start, and around we go. This is obviously F3 at Spa, great circuit. We let him go through no name because obviously we're just losing time to the pack ahead, and I don't want this slipstream, so I stay way out the way over here. So coming down into Pool 1 now, it's very tricky this one, particularly on colder tyres, as that guy up ahead is deciding to go all the way around the outside, and our Lotus friend does the same thing as well, but he'll get an off up for that. Not too bad. The other guy will probably get a slowdown, and hopefully he gets out the way of this corner, which he does a little bit. I leave a little bit of room just in case he does stick his nose in, but we're all golden through here. And in a nutshell, we're just trying to keep with the pack. Myself and Seb did qualify higher up, but we decided to start the back considering what, the first race of the week is normally like. And I'm kind of glad we did because of the start of that race, but, it's one of them things like hindsight is a wonderful thing. So we have a look up the inside of the Lotus livery again, and hopefully we can get this done before Jack's corner coming up here, the Blanchimont corner. I wasn't sure if he backed out watching this back, but I know what happens, and he does back out, which is nice, so we can take the apex here. And we do switch to another camera angle here for you, because look at the shenanigans that happen ahead. Someone has a whoopsie up ahead, and then Seb has a whoopsie, and then everyone else just collects him and things like that, and the car's flipping over. How Seb did a somersault standing still, I don't know. But guess what? The Lotus man is back in front of us, which is really frustrating. Now starting lap 2, and we get a good I don't like turn 1. Turn 1 is very, very critical for a decent lap round here. You need to get a good exit, and I did think I got an okay exit of the dude ahead, but he's obviously got slipstream from matey boy front of him, which I can't see the name because the pixelation is so bad. Sam, I think it is. Anyway, they go too wide up ahead of me, and I decide to back out completely because, again, I want to be sensible. We're still feeling around here. We're P6 somehow, or P7, I can't remember which. But in a nutshell, we've done well to miss a shenanigans first of all, and we're only on lap 2, coming up to Jack's corner, and we are now slotting back into P7, I think that actually is, as we go around the inside there. I didn't leave him enough space on exit. I would like to leave cars on exit, but we were all clear. He does have a little bit look on the outside, but at this point, going around the outside here, you kind of need to pin the car onto the apex and keep your nose alongside them for this second apex here. If you're not doing that, you've lost the corner. Anyway, we've got Lotus Man ahead, and on lap 4, we do actually catch him up, and we're coming up to Max Verstappen's shortcut. In an esports race he did, and he just lets us go, and look at me, I'm moving my head and everything. Oh yeah. So going into Le Comble, I check my mirrors to make sure he's behind before I turn in. Obviously I'm doing it a little bit quicker with my eyeballs, but I'm always checking the mirrors, particularly on the virtual mirrors, just to make sure where we are and make sure he's not sticking his nose in, which he isn't. So we have another glance there. Look, there's a bit of a gap there, so we're all good to go for the apex on this one. And that was that race done, basically. I don't know, I think I caught up to the guy ahead, but generally that was kind of it for this race. So let's go on to the next one. Right, race 2, and we qualified second with Seb on pole, and this is the open one now, not the fix. So we decided to work together because player rules matter. So away we go. We get a decent start. We kind of level with Seb here, so I'm definitely not going to attack him into turn 1 because we want to run away, and then we'll decide what happens afterwards. And again, coming down here, my big tip here is plan your slipstream, right? I don't want to be right on Seb's rear end going through Eau Rouge and Radion. So I'm out the suckage at this point, and then just before I get in, I want the suckage. I want the drag up the hill because he'll be slower than what I am because he's got to go up a hill. We've both got to go up a hill, but I've got less air resistance because of him in front, and we go for it here. Now myself and Seb, I'll put my teeth in one day. Myself and Seb have the same setup, so overtaking is awkward for us because it's literally 0 wings. So there's no suckage or anything, and our top speed are basically identical. So we get the job done because Seb does lift off. And in a nutshell, the dudes behind were not smart at this point. They should have recognised they weren't catching us in the straight, and they must know, or should think, that, hang on a minute, I've got more downforce. So they actually battle really, really hard for these next few corners now. I'll put a little overhead cam there. And they're going the same speed as Seb, but they're going too wide. So if they had, got in line, they would have had a better chance to overtake Seb, and, it wouldn't have mattered on the next straight, granted, but at least made something of the race. But because they're so carried away with battling with themselves, it's allowing me and Seb to basically run away. Yes, the 0 wing is that strong that it's kind of indefensible, which is great if you're running it. But anyway, that was that. That was literally it. Me and Seb just were matching lap times. Our fastest laps are similar. Obviously, he's a worse driver than me, so I beat him. But still, that was it. He couldn't catch me, and I couldn't run away from him. And that was that. So a P1 and a P2 Papaya rules rock. Now, this is the exciting race 3, the one you've been waiting for. It did actually fall in this order, not because it's the better race. I've left it last because of reasons. It just happily worked out like that. This was the 3rd race. We're qualified P3 for me, and Seb had a bad qualifying. He's down in P15. So at this point, we're thinking, considering the field was so close on its qualifying times and the slipstream is very powerful, we're back in the fix. So the fix setup does have good suckage. So we thought, do you know what? We'll start from the pit lane. We can work together again, be sensible, hopefully miss all the shenanigans. I'm looking at the wall to see if we have a repeat of the race 1 where everyone crashed, but we don't. And this is where qualifying does help because I'm right at the start of the pit lane, which is really, really handy. And there is the pack. So we've got to let this car go because we started in pits, and away we go. Now, Spa is a slipstream fest. It's a huge suckage fest, whatever you want to call it. You need to race smart. Again, that's why I mentioned it a minute ago about timing your slipstream over Eau Rouge and Radion so you get the good slingshot. This was done easy for me because I had to let him go for the pit exit. So that one was easy done. But so many people, particularly one in person, which we'll see later, doesn't get that memo. So it's interesting. So anyway, we're coming into Le Con for the first time, and annoyingly just ahead you can see what's happening, and we are coming into it. So again, being sensible, the yellow flag isn't out yet, annoying, but we see smoke, we see dust, and we see a car parked there on the left hand side. There's the yellow flag, thank you, too late, and another car parked over there on the left. So that's 2 freebies. Disappointing that happens to them, but it is great for us in this situation. So I don't think we would have got caught of that had we started from the grid, but nonetheless we are still surviving. Coming up to the next clip now is coming to the end of lap 1. And again, I've seen this before, loads of cars going in, so I go for those loads of space. That was a mistake because that Red Bull livery makes a whoopsie of that. Again, we stop, chill out. They have a crash on the way into the pits, which is, you know, bad luck for them. But on we go. Now, Stephen here, he's having a look up the inside. And I'm thinking, kind of don't do this because there's a massive slipstream fest coming up. So you should be fine. And he does back out, which is brilliant. Now I go for a decent apex here. And I want to catch up to that Red Bull livery because he is my next target. So fast forward it now because this bit's boring. I need the slipstream because I'm a little bit too far away. So that's why I stayed in this suckage all the way through. And this is how easy you can get the overtakes done. So we squeeze him a little bit just to keep middle of the circuit. And we do pick up a slipstream up here. But he does lift off, I think. And we've got more issues ahead. So again, nothing on yellow flag, but we see that speck of dust. And we see a lot of dust over there. So we collect a car over there. And that's another freebie, but we are away. It's always nerve-wracking going up there if you see issues because you don't know what cars are doing. Take the Max Verstappen shortcut and you should be fine. Cutting forward to lap 2 to Jack's corner. And we do have a cheeky little look at the inside. I should have left more space for this guy as well. So I'm sorry to you, Luke. I should have left more space on exit and probably should have waited for this one. But I was so impatient because I saw the gap to the group ahead. And I know I can get it done in this braking zone. Close it up. Luke tries around the outside. I was expecting netcode there for Luke to have a little nose up there. But he was far enough behind. So it was all good. No harm done. So crossing the line now, and we've got a few cars ahead, and again we've got 3 cars going into turn 1 it looks like, and them 2 are battling that much, and I catch that guard off. I mean, he doesn't even know I'm there. Thank goodness I take avoiding action, and so does Luke behind. He sees it coming and actually managed to stop before punting me as well. That could have been an easy crash of these 2 battling away, and again they're battling for Eau Rouge and Radion. It slows them down. I've got slipstream now, and this just opens up for me. It's glorious, it's fantastic, it opens up. And Luke gets on me slipstream there as well, which does help my car because I have less drag. Unfortunately, we do leave him. And again, these 2 are still battling. Look at the delta time, 0.5, 0.6. They're going too wide. They're losing acres of time. They've just lost a position from me, who's done a double overtake, and they're almost a second behind in 3 corners. Be smart, people. Think about it. So lap 3, Jack's corner again. We're coming up to this guy, and I think I do have a look up the thing because I think I can get the slipstream with the guys in front. Yeah, there we go. I'll go around to the outside. This is what I mean about the outside corner. Get the braking done and stay close to him. He does lift off in the end, but you need to make sure you're still alongside by the time you start turning left, this left-hander. It can create some crashes into that last chicane, so I probably would advise against it because this is a much better overtake down here as we speed up what we're doing. Lap 5 now, coming up through here, going a massive grat of suckage, and this is textbook. He stays there. He doesn't even battle me. He wants to get ahead, so well done, Raul there. He wants to move forward, and off we go. He does also, I get a terrible line through here, actually, and he does almost have a look right up me chuff here. Look, he gets a much better run. But again, he kind of backs out or gets a little bit of understeer, so it's all bravery we continue. We do drop him a little bit. What's that, 0.8 behind, and we're on lap 6 now down the Camel Straight. Now, this guy up ahead was weaving me a basket, So I was trying to follow him a little bit, and then he goes again. I was like, I can't really be bothered here. I'm hopefully going to catch you up. And Seb said something there. That was inevitable. And this is from Sebcam. Netcode coming through Rouge and Radion, and there we go. But again, why are they going too wide through Rouge and Radion? I don't get it. Don't do it, people. Don't do it. So anyway, weave me a basket, guys, here. And again, I can't remember if I go for this move or not. I think I do. Probably shouldn't have done because of what happens next. But anyway, get the job done on the apex. Get this one done. There's an issue up ahead as well with a spinner. And luckily he gets going. Now, that guy, I think he qualified on pole or second. So now he thinks he's the best racing driver in the world. And he goes for some outrageous moves. Again, we're fast forwarding because it's a bit boring. But again, he's going through Rouge and Radion. And he had the run, and he goes that bad through it too wide. He actually loses the run and ends up behind the the old Jordan livery, the yellow car there. I don't get it. I'm defending from the Red Bull guy, and amazingly, the Red Bull guy actually works with me. So well done, Red Bull guy. You know, they're not all bad. Some of them are bad. They're not all bad. Okay. Again, they're taking two bloody lumps out of each other, dive bombing into Lecom. At Spa, it's kind of pointless. You just lose time. You need to race smart. And he kind of does a few dive bombs on me, and then yeah, you'll see later on anyway. But we're trying to be sensible. We cut forward to lap 7. Again, they're still battling and trying to lose each other time. That gap to the pack ahead is even more. So I'm not going for this move. I'm going to let them battle, and hopefully they'll crash and I can get on with my day. He goes deep again. He almost loses it on that one, and he's just overdriving the car. He's clearly frustrated that he was doing well, but he's just overdriving. And look at that gap again. It's getting massive. I'm on the outside here, which is where I want to be because I can set them up for open switchback. Annoyingly, them two have an issue between each other up ahead, and he's got no front wing and he's parked over there. So there's 2 more freebies. But again, look, I'm in the middle of them. I don't want the slipstream. I want to let them deal with it. I get massively over here. I don't want the slipstream. Leave me alone. You two battle for a Rouge and Radion again. That's going to really help me out, innit? I mean, look at this. It's just... I don't get it. I really don't get it. And then this guy, he just goes to the inside. And I've got to be careful of this guy because he was dive bombing everywhere. He dive bombed into Lecom on the Jordan livery behind, and he dive bombed into the chicane, and he didn't hold it. So I'm thinking it's going to come. He's actually squeezing us 3 wide into that corner, which is not good. And of course, there's no space for left on the second apex there because he wasn't intending to even make that corner. He does leave me space there, to be fair to him, and I've got to defend from the dude behind. So again, I take a massively deep breaker mode here. I almost outdo it, but then I can close the corner because I am clear. So I can get that corner done and dusted. I didn't want to battle with him because I didn't want matey boy up ahead to disappear off in the distance. Massive amount of understeer, but luckily not as bad as the understeer for the dude behind. So again, I'm on the radio saying we were 3 wide into Lecom there. You know, take it easy, race smart sort of thing. Trying to get him to calm down because look at the guys ahead. They're like 2 seconds ahead because of the shenanigans. And lo and behold, very lap later, we're on the whatever this corner or straight is called, and we're right up his jacksie. Again, I don't want to go for it at this point, so I sit behind him because I'd rather time my overtake down into Lecom because that's when I can go for the twisty stuffs and try and run away. So I'm not going to go for it in here because it will probably just lead to a crash. And if anything, it will make the dudes behind be right on our jacksie, and that will make my day more difficult. So again, plan your overtakes, people, particularly when people are driving with a little bit of anger in their heart because they've made a mistake. Which again, he's still gaining IR. What's the problem? You know, he's still P6 at this point. Hopefully going to be P7 at this point because, you know, I'm going to overtake him. He messed up turn 1 annoyingly, and it kind of doesn't give me the run that I wanted. And this is where I need the slipstream. I don't want it now, but I do want it now. So I need a little bit to keep me in there, and then I don't want it, and then I want it over a Rouge and Radion. And look at this. This is lovely. And this is how sort of my red missed here. I want the inside because I was not letting him have the inside because I knew what was going to happen. I squeeze him over to the left-hand side. He squeezes me and then lets me go. So if he was going to let me go, why do all the dive bombs? Yeah. We all survived. No harm done, but race smart. You know, don't... Calm down. Race smart. Lap 10, here we go. We've caught up to... Who's this guy? We've left old dive bomber behind. He's still there a little bit. So now we're planning an overtake on car 4 as well. Fast forward this bit. And again, we're going to do rinse and repeat on this one. Get a good turn 1. He misses it a little bit, so I can't get on throttle as early as I'd like. But again, I'm right up his jacksie. So again, move out slipstream. I don't want to be on his jacksie going through. I've said jacksie a lot. I'm right on his bum through a Rouge and Radion. I want to be on his bum coming out like I've done here. pull out to the right hand side because that's all I can go, and then it's just a flat out drag race. The reason you want to get your overtake done as soon as possible, because hopefully you've got enough straight then to complete the overtake before Lecon, because if they've got a sniff up the inside, they will dive bomb. He backs out very graciously, which is great for me, because then we can just crack on and move forward and run away. We got slippery debris sign there because of, you know, gravel all over the circuit, but hey ho, we run away. Now this is the last lap of this race, and we got up to P5 in the end, so this is actually where we finished. Spoiler alert! But I was hoping to catch these guys up ahead because they were battling really, really nicely, and annoyingly, maybe if we didn't battle with old Dive Bomber, we may have been on their tail towards the end. So it would have been an interesting battle for P3, and that would have been an incredible race, to be honest, from qualifying P3, pit lane start to P3 again. You know, it's what Disney films are made out of, let's be honest. But yeah, we're just trying to be smooth through here. Again, Eau Rouge and Radiant, you want to minimize steering angle, take as minimal curve as you can. You don't want to bounce over it. Get on the curve here on the left-hand side, brake as late as you dare. Put the tyre on the inside of the curve of both of these. I missed the first one, but get the second one. It really does help the car rotate. Easy through here. You can short shift into fourth if you want to dull the wheel spin. Come down here now, just at the start of the curve on the left-hand side, brake in a straight line, and then be very, very patient with the car. Easy through here. Try not to touch that curb, and then smooth back on throttle around here. Short shift to fourth if you are oversteering, but be covering the throttle just to keep a little bit of weight on that bum, because it is easy to over-rotate the car through there. Who on the fixed downforce is lovely. It's just a double brake and in you go. If you're on a low downforce setting, you'll need to drag the brake a little bit more through here just to get the car rotated. But absolutely brilliant in the fixed setup going through there. It is really, really fun. Now this corner, I set this corner up wrong, so I went too deep and too fast into this corner, and it pushed me middle of the circuit. I want to be over to the right-hand side to open up this corner, because otherwise this happens. You run wide and get an off-track, and that was my first off-track of this race. Godspeed praised. F499 still lives on in my heart, but yeah, that was an off-track annoyingly. Otherwise, it would have been a zero race. So the pork chop corners down there, as I call them, just watch the curbs because they are bumpy. You do bottom out the car, particularly on the low downforce setup. Once you start Tony Hawk grinding down these curbs, it is horrible. Longimont, just be easy through there. You'll be absolutely fine. Brake in a nice heavy straight line for the last chicane. You can go through in seconds, but I like the engine brake in the third. Little bit of curb, and be smooth on power. Otherwise, you'll do that spin, which Mr. Lego Man did. And otherwise, that is us done and dusted with a very enjoyable race. I have liked Spa F3. It has been shenanigans at times, but touch wood, I keep avoiding it for the rest of this week. And fingers crossed when we go to Sebring next week, it should be equally as fun. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Catch you on the next one.